19 Minutes by Jodi Picoult is a captivating novel with a complex theme that challenges the ability of the reader to understand both the antagonist view as well as the protagonist view through the use of multiple character types. On March 6, 2007, Peter Houghton makes the decision to proceed through Sterling High, armed with 4 fully loaded weapons, targeting his worst enemies, his tormentors, his bullies. Ex-best friend Josie Cormier is shocked. However, she carries much of the guilt considering her and Peter used to be the best of friends, but she fell to the hands of peer pressure, and rather than standing up for Peter in his bullying struggle, she joined in, learning that she could be accepted into the cool crowd that way. Although this novel is a work of fiction, events like this have been seen around the world, including the Sandy Hook Elementary School shooting. The implied importance of popularity and the value of social status is an important theme displayed within the novel through contrasting character types such as Josie Cormier and Peter. Additionally, Picoult develops Alex Cormier, who aims to provide an explanation to the question of who has the right to judge who. While committing a mass murder is not something that can be justified, Picoult meticulously creates a background story as well as multiple character types that allow the reader to gain sympathy for Peter throughout his life leading up to the shooting, proving that there are 2 sides to every story and both deserve an equal chance to be heard. Rather than including simple flashbacks in the novel, Picoult describes stories from Peter's life, ranging from when he was born to the day of the shooting. One of the most effective scenes emphasizing compassion within the reader would have been when Peter was on his way to his first day of kindergarten and he was immediately a victim of bullying. His first emotions with regards to being bullied are demonstrated in the quote, "Peter sank back into his seat. His face felt cold, but his ears were burning. He could hear the boy and his friends laughing, as if it were happening in his own head." This description of Peter's first bullying experience allows the reader to feel the emotions he felt at the time, such as humiliation, sadness, and anger. Later on in the novel, Peter experiences more humiliation when he tries to talk to his crush, Jodi. The entire table fell into a fizz of laughter, an inside joke that Peter didn't understand. The smile on Peter's face wilted as he realized how deep of a pit he'd fallen into, and how many people had dug it. This situation is one that may resonate with the reader, considering the immense embarrassment Peter would have felt in the situation. The novel 19 Minutes examines the idea of adolescent popularity and social status through the contrasting lives of Josie Cormier and Peter Houghton. Josie, an elite member of the popular crowd, demonstrates just how tough being a part of the in crowd can be, whereas Peter displays what it's like to be on the outside. Throughout the novel, the reader is able to see inside Josie's thoughts, specifically where she articulates the limitations of being popular, something which is stereotypically viewed as positive. Josie sheds light on the reality of keeping up with the standards of being accepted through quotes such as, "She understood how she was supposed to look and supposed to act," as well as, "But there was a part of her that wondered what would happen if she let them in on her secret, that she was standing on air, a fake who laughed at all the right jokes, whispered all the right gossip, and attracted the right guy. A fake who nearly had forgotten what it was like to be real." Peter, in contrast, discusses what it's like to have everyone's attention on you, but in a different way than Josie. Through statements such as, "When you don't fit in, you become superhuman. You can feel everyone else's eyes on you, stuck like Velcro. You can hear a whisper about you from a mile away. You can disappear even when it looks like you're still standing right there. You can scream and nobody hears a sound." Peter expresses thoughts similar to Josie's, however from an opposing position. Where Peter would give almost anything to be considered part of the in crowd, Josie would do the same to be out of it, if only it didn't require her sacrificing everything she is and everything she has. Justice is examined in many different scenarios throughout the course of the story. However, it is questionable as to where the true justice lies. The course of justice can play out in a domino pattern. Peter believes he was giving his bullies justice as he shot his way through Sterling High that day, stating that they started it when asked why he did what he did. However, later on in the novel, Peter receives his justice when he is sentenced to life in prison with 8 first-degree murder sentences. Alex delves into the question of who has the right to judge who throughout the novel, as she is presented with a life-changing case involving her daughter as a witness and her best friend's child as the perpetrator. Josie introduces the reader to a thought-provoking quote said by Alex early on in the novel that describes one of the many themes of the book. "You don't stop being a judge just because you step out of the courthouse." As a judge herself, Alex is constantly aware of the judgment occurring around her, as well as within her own mind. She questions her right to judge people and the fact that determining a perpetrator's future is entirely in her hands. What gives one human the superior ability to decide the fate of another human? In a journal entry from Peter, he writes, "Whether or not you believe in fate comes down to one thing: who you blame when something goes wrong." A comment made by People magazine challenges this, however, by respectfully stating in an interview that the novel is a brilliantly told tale, one that dares to remind us that someone loved the killer too. Peter Houghton was the perpetrator of a mass murder. Josie Cormier was the ex-best friend that left him in the dirt. Alex Cormier was the mother of one of the two main witnesses of the crime and best friends to the perpetrator's mother, leaving each and every character involved in Peter's life, including himself, filled with life-lasting guilt. Peter understood his consequences and recognized that his actions required serious consequences. However, he also expected forgiveness and believed it wasn't him who caused the misery. Pickle makes the reader question who the real perpetrator of the story was. Was it Peter Houghton, the 17-year-old who walked into Sterling High on the morning of March 6, 2007, shot and killed 10 students and attempted to kill 19 others? Or the lifelong bullies that haunted Peter's memories, tormented and oppressed Peter for every second of his elementary and high school life? But then again, who is the reader to make that decision anyways?